cultures have boundaries?
Our
I
culture
think
has
we have to.
or saying or you could not do that. You have to do that. You think you have to flex. You think you have to do the dick measuring contest.
All right. Yeah.
You think that you
Like,
have
or from where
sexual
you're
relations while your partner is watching.
I'm sorry.
They're not involved. They're just watching while you get ducked.
Oh,
They're the cuff.
It's just like
Y'all are just so overly dramatic about this, talking about, oh, he'll never let the world see him cuff. That's not this situation.
Adam 22 did it. Would you say he's out?
And that is completely different. See, that is cuff.
he's a couple.
Exactly. But what Swiss did wasn't a cuff move. You think that's cuff stuff?
For me, Adam.
I don't even got a problem with him. My problem is with Usher.
Well, let me shut up. I don't care about
Okay.
that.
How many decades you think it's gonna take her to find a man if she's going around saying that shit?
They don't care the good stuff. That's a lie.
so
Because what you gonna get out there that you can't get right here?
Niggas are nasty.
Niggas are nasty.
thank you.
Every day. I might not look at her the same.
No words.
You doing it with her. You a nasty bitch. Y'all nasty together.
No, he gonna look at her locket.
You whore.
Hey, that's how you're the mother of our kids. I can't. He's like, oh, you nasty. Don't be kissing my children after this. No, we gonna find out she nastier than him. So sad.
Let's find out.
I'm accepted.
So
Wait, did you change?
hell no, I didn't change.
Why?
Hell no, I didn't change.
If my man ever said, if he ever says,
No, it was
says, a dress that I wear
more to
ain't
that.
hanging, I'm
was-
taking that shit off.
It was more.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? So, this morning we're going to be talking about our show from Sunday. It was really good, you guys. If you haven't paid attention, Lucky started this awesome panel with women mostly and a man. And it's lit. It's a chill spot where we get to talk, we get to agree, disagree, laugh, play, have fun, and look cute like this. And I appreciate spaces like that. And I know a lot of you appreciate spaces like that. So if y'all haven't checked it out, y'all need to start watching that on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we're going to talk about some of the clips from Sunday because I liked the subject and some of the stuff that people said was just hilarious. So I just wanted to show y'all and talk about some of those things this morning. And have a little kiki, a little laugh. And if you guys good morning, Ellis. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I'm going to show you guys the first clip and we'll come and talk about it. So this is the longest clip. I know it's a minute. Actually, this is the second longest clip. But there's only 4, so don't trip. Don't trip, but watch this clip and then we're going to talk about this subject.
Why is it important to protect the male ego?
In your opinion.
Ooh.
She like protect it for what?
Like, I don't know.
It's important to boost your man's ego because that builds their self-esteem. It helps their view of themselves. Just like when people are hyping you up, it helps. Like if you're feeling a little insecure, a little unsure, them doing that, it makes you like, you know what? I was stripping. I look fine. I look good. My man thinks so, or my girl thinks so. You know. So I think that's why I believe it's
second on this. I mean,
look, technically you're third.
it's fantasy. Don't even look at it. Take the word male out. Just look at it as ego. We used to use the term male ego as if it was synonymous to ego, right? But because women have come to the forefront of society, because they have started to work, gather assets for themselves, we realize ego is just as big on both sides. All right. And it's important to protect your companion's ego. If you aren't going to do it, who else is going to do it? All right. So,
First husband and wife, that's who.
exactly. I guess we can call it ego security. That is my number one job. I can use the example of why women in modern times don't like getting cheated on. It's not necessarily that she doesn't know that you're a man that has needs and tendencies. It's that you gave another woman license to damage her ego over and over and over again and without her consent. So we can see that people want their ego guarded and secured on both sides. And it means more for a man if you knew what men interpret as love. We interpret respect as love. You allowed another man to disrespect me by pretending to dominate my woman. Now, let me tell y'all something about masculinity. Most of it is actually an illusion. Hold on. Most of it is an illusion. The A woman can guard her man's ego by securing the illusion of his masculinity. All right. There's men out here that have been cheated on and stayed in their marriage. You know why they stayed? Because nobody knew. Nobody knew about it. That's why men don't talk about stuff like that. It's like I hate her ass for doing this shit, but nobody. I never told a soul. My ego and my masculinity is still secured because nobody knows. But the second the world finds out you did that to me, I gotta have an ego trip. I gotta go off.
Or I'm just saying, or you could not do that. You could chill out just because somebody finds out something that isn't necessarily flattering about you. That doesn't mean you need to turn up. That doesn't mean you need to have an ego trip. You could chill. What do you think? You think you have to do that? You think you have to flex? You think you have to do the dick measuring
All
contest?
right. Yes. Let me tell you.
Okay.
So this whole we're talking about the Usher thing, right? That's the basis of it.
Yep, go
Y'all,
ahead.
y'all for last like
Yep,
pretty
go
much
ahead.
most of 22, 23, we were talking about alpha versus beta, right? And what people don't realize is that alphas do not allow themselves to look like cuckolds. Alpha males will never, ever let themselves look like cuckolds. You will never think about it. The man that you respect, nobody touches his woman ever. You don't play touch her. You don't
I'm
hug
sorry.
her.
Okay.
Sorry, Trigger Mike, but I get what you're saying. However, I think you're missing the point. You keep saying that take it away from Swiss Beats and Usher. It's not really about that. And then you come back and say, "Oh, nobody the men that are real men basically, nobody can touch their woman." But that's taking it right back to this industry side because at the end of the day, nobody's touching us. Nobody's putting their hands on us just cuz they can see us. Doesn't mean they can touch us. Nobody's touching me except for my husband and my kids. So I just think it's a reach. Like she can wear what she wants and she can perform how she wants. Now, is it important to protect your man's ego? It is very important. It is very important for you to protect your man's ego. I stand on that. And it's very important for you to protect your woman's ego, to support her. But this is about your man. You're supposed to be protecting his ego. You're supposed to be keeping him from feeling like he's unappreciated. When you show appreciation to your man and loyalty and admiration for the things that he does, it just excites him to continue doing the things that you like. So a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I shouldn't have to praise nobody for doing what they're supposed to do." Okay, I understand that, but you have to reinforce behaviors that you like, positively reinforce those, and negatively reinforce the behaviors that you do not like. So if you only talking to your man when you're coming at him, that's a problem. If you only talking to your man to tell him how he's messing up, that's a problem. He's going to start resenting you. So instead of doing things like that, you can talk to your man about how you appreciate him playing with the kids and letting you rest, letting you take a nap and not know, "Oh, baby, wake up. It's been 30 minutes nap." Nap until your body feels rested. Rested. That is amazing. So it's things like that that you have to reinforce with your partner. It's important for you to stroke their ego and tell them how great they are because that's your man. If he wasn't great, would you be with him? No, you wouldn't. You would be single, getting free meals from random guys whenever you wanted, being asked out on dates whenever you wanted to go out somewhere. That's what you would be. So obviously he's the shit, so you should tell him. Like Beyonce said, he got a big ego. She understands. She love his huge ego. She loved that, and I love it. So if I can help boost that, I'm gonna boost it. I am. And my man boosted mine, but y'all know my head a little big. I feel like gorgeous and la la la, but like there are times where I feel like ugh, I just don't like this little thing about myself, right? And there's my man right there to be like, "Oh, baby, you look so good. I love that." And I'm like, there could be worse things. Exactly. This is the point. Ellis, speak life and love in your partner before someone else does. Ooh, ooh. So we're going to talk about that. Also, speak life and love into your partner. The key part of this, though, before someone else does. You think somebody ain't looking at your fine ass man that's doing all these great things for you and you got a pissy attitude? You think somebody ain't watching? Trigger Mike said during that stream that the girls be aware when they're being neglected by when a man in the office, a handsome one, not the ones that you don't notice. We're not talking about them. When a man in the office is struggling in his relationship, so he coming in there with like he's down, he's deflated. They like, oh, she ain't doing something at home. They paying attention. So you need to pay attention to that, and you need to pay attention to your man and make sure he knows that he's appreciated by his woman before you end up without a man. Just saying. People need validation, period, especially from their partners. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. People are like, oh, I don't need validation from anyone. All I need validation from is myself. And I'm like, well, you're a very unique person. But generally, people need validation from their community and from their partners, the people that's supposed to love them. Generally, they appreciate their validation. So validate your partner when you can. I'm sure it happens more often than you realize. You just don't think to praise them. Praise them. I'm just saying, y'all be praising these little pastors out here. Anyway, we gonna move on to the next one. Hold on one second.
Would you say the lack of intimacy and neglect to your man and his bruised ego can cause his response? And last week we said it's the male's responsibility if we react. If the man reacts and steps out on you or gets his issue off elsewhere because of that, is it valid? Is it validated?
I think it's validated. I think men will go through anything, right? They swallowing all kind of blue pills. Wait, blue pills, honey packs. They going to the doctor. If they things stop working, they gonna try to get it up. So I feel like women should do the same thing. I feel like when a woman's libido drops, she does nothing about it, right? I don't think it's appropriate for you to be married to your husband and you think it's okay to have sex with him once a month or twice a month because like you know what I'm saying, like it's certain things that you need that you prioritize, and I think a lot of times women get to a point where they don't prioritize sex. But if you want your husband to prioritize the things that you need, then you need to be prioritizing the things that he needs. And men like sex, so go get you a pussycat pill, go talk to the doctor why your libido is not working, go take whatever vitamins you need to take, go to therapy, whatever you're going through psychologically or whatever, you need to be trying to do something to make your sex whatever you need to do, or you need to allow that man to have a hall pass so he can get his pleasure somewhere, and that could work in your relationship. And just pray and hope that somebody don't freak him enough to make him leave. But he's a man. There's no way he should be able to go years and years, months and months without. being provided what he needed in a relationship. That's you being selfish. So
What you
I'm
think,
with the
Sunshine?
man.
I agree. What you think, Sunshine?
Right. Um, for the most part, I agree with her. But when you talk about intimacy, intimacy isn't all sex. So it's about the foreplay. It's about, you know, getting dressed up, looking cute for him or whatever. But most men lack the knowledge of, if she don't want you, it's not always like, sometimes it's because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know, if you arguing with her, you coming in the house and you arguing and what is that? If you
Ignore him. Continue.
if you come in the house and y'all arguing all the time, she don't want to do it. She's not gonna want to have sex with you. She's not gonna
Lip.
want to do anything with you. Yeah, it can be the same thing.
So okay, so I'll add more context to some
You
of
don't.
these relationships. I'll add more context to some relationships. All these men communicated this before they cheated repeatedly. Just adding context. Go ahead.
And most of them do. Most of them tell you when they are feeling neglected. And if you are like,
Well,
a lot of
then that's a
times this
small bad.
happens when you have a baby postpartum, you don't feel sexy anymore, and he's ready to get back on the horse, and you're like, look at me. Look at this body. But he's like, girl, I'm trying to get in that. I'm trying to get in. It's like we get in our own heads and we can't do what we need to do as women to be good partners. And they tell us ahead of time. And if we don't listen, they warned you. That's a warning.
But if you're married, I feel like for both sides, you're not gonna always be happy in your marriage. So if you're communicating that you're not happy, you're not satisfied, what's going on with the other partner? Just like you said, she's just had a baby, she's just all jacked up. You don't want to jump back in the bed.
See, I definitely get her point there, where she's like, sometimes you go through these seasons where you just don't feel good in your own skin. And that's very difficult to go through. So, a lot of times people are struggling with their internal feelings about themselves, and their partner doesn't think to ask them, hey, is something going on? Do you want to talk to me about something? Do you want to confide in me about something? I'm here to listen. Doing things like that when you see that your partner is down versus waiting the months and months and months. Like some of these guys be saying that they haven't had sex for months. And it's like, why? Is she sick? Like it's like that's what I immediately think. Y'all didn't have sex for months. Is she sick? Like is something wrong? Did she just have a baby? Because some of these men, like, I don't know, like he's like, no, that's not the situation. But yes, it is. Some of these men do not want to wait the 8 weeks. And it depends on how traumatic the birth is. Some people have very traumatic situations where they be tore up. They be tore up. And it's not just down there. They be tore up. They be tore up like in their face, in their whole body, tore up. And these men be like, I'm trying to get in that. I'm trying to get in. And it's like, okay, I understand you trying to get in. I'm not trying to judge you for that. But you need to be patient. But if she's not sick, she did not have a baby, why are y'all not having sex for months? Like, is something has happened. That's something you really have to look into when you're not having sex at all anymore. You need to figure out why you're not having sex, because that's a quick way to somebody cheating, one or the other or both. You aren't getting any type of sexual pleasure from your partner at all. And a lot of times, like she said, it's not just sexual intimacy, it's intimacy in general. Y'all ain't hugging on each other, kissing on each other, nothing. Something is wrong in your relationship, and it doesn't take anybody to say something is wrong for you to know something is off. She used to want to suck my D, is the key thing. She used to want to make me feel good. Now she doesn't. She doesn't care if I feel good or not. That's crazy. You need to figure out why. And women, the same thing. And a lot of times, ladies, I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be like a bitch about it, but a lot of times we get too god dang big. And I know it's going to be like, oh, you skinny bitch. How the fuck would you know? La, 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 la. I said what I said. It's very important for us to realize that attraction comes with looks. And he saw you, he met you, he fell for your he fell for you sexually because of the way that you looked. And the obviously you don't have to be the smartest person in the world, but you have to look decent to where I'm aroused looking at you. That's what your partner is supposed to do for you. And you did that for him before. And you could do that for him again. If you take care of your body, it's important to look good so you feel good. You feel sexy. If you don't feel sexy, it's kind of hard to fake sexy. Like it's kind of hard to fake that, that desire that, oh, I look good and I'm ready to get, you know. So if you're trying to get your man to treat you like that, you have to take care of your body. You have to make sure the packaging is right. You have to look sexy for your man and at least be available for him. At least be available for him to slide inside. If you're not looking your greatest, at least try. Y'all can figure out every other way to do every other thing from YouTube channels and Instagram channels and Snapchats. You learn how to do everything. You could lose that weight and you don't even have to go to the gym. You don't have to eat trash food that you hate that doesn't taste good. You could do what you need to do to be attractive for your man because you're not fulfilling his needs visually either. He's going to cheat on you. He's going to cheat on you. And you know what? As much as the women are like, oh, girl, he's such a dog. I can't believe. You know what his men are saying, his boys? He's like, bro, I knew that shit wasn't going to last. Y'all ain't had sex for forever. Like, everyone knows that you have to have sex. That's like basics. And I understand SO. So SO, you bring a very good point. I completely agree. Cheaters gonna cheat. That's a fact. But some people aren't inherently cheaters, aren't always cheaters. They haven't cheated in all their relationships, but they also haven't been neglected like they're being neglected in this marriage. Because a lot of times you got to think, marriage is the longest relationship a lot of people have. Most people don't have these years-long relationship unless they're married. So you have these long-term relationships. You have this stuff built in to where you think that y'all are locked in. That's why you got married. So you got married and now all of a sudden your partner doesn't look the same. And it's not that they don't look the same. Like you don't have to stay exactly the same size your whole life. That's ridiculous. I'm not advocating for that. I'm fresh in my 30s, so my mouth is a little flippant, but I feel like if my body isn't looking how I want it to look, I can still do what it takes to get it right. And it gets right like that when I do what it takes cuz I don't let it get out of control. I see a little pudge and I'm like, "Oh, oh, oh." I self-correct. So I know that cheater's going to cheat, but you can't be out here becoming my 600-pound wife and expecting this man to still want to sleep with you. You look disgusting. You look disgusting. I'm sorry. I feel the same way about the men. These men quick to call these women out for getting heavy and not being attractive. Meanwhile, when y'all get heavy, your dick gets smaller. It's smaller. You can't really get to it because y'all have that fat over there. So we have the fat upper pussy area. It doesn't matter. It's still gushy. You still in there. You can get in there. But when you are big, it's not the same. So y'all need to get in the gym. Y'all know how men do. Y'all already have every regimen in the world that's made for your body that y'all can go to. So I don't know why there's so many fat ass men walking around. And I know your homeboys be calling y'all out when y'all be getting big. So do you have no friends? It's giving you have no friends. It's giving you have no friends because your friend would tell you if you were getting out of control or you ain't close to your siblings because your siblings will tell you when you're getting out of control. Your mom, your father, they all gonna tell you when shit's going awry. So you don't have a good relationship with them, you need to work on that. You need to work on that. You need to work on that weight. See, look at Eso. That's hilarious. Exactly. It's some good pom pom under there. It's some good pom pom under there. So that's a benefit. You getting big, there's no benefit to that at all. At all. Get some better friends. Friends don't let friends emotionally eat. That's a fact. If you feeling some type of way and you start eating, your friend shouldn't be passing you more. Watching you get bigger and bigger. Like, that's not a friend. That's not a friend I'll ever be. There's different types of friends. There's different types of friends, and you need a balance, I guess. But I'll never be that. I'm gonna tell you, girl, you're getting a little outside of yourself. And it's not people that I don't know. It's not like I walk up to strangers like, girl, you need to lose some weight. I don't know what you got going on in your life, but when you are my family or my friend, I do know what you got going on in your life. I see you enough to know if it's your eating habits or something else is off. And I've been in the military for almost 12 years now. I've seen the overweight programs and the people that come in looking nice and ready and fit and they get injured and then they start getting fluffier and fluffier and fluffier and fluffier. I've seen it. So it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know when I had my kids, I was in the Army when I had my kids. So obviously in an airborne unit. I was in an airborne unit as an airborne soldier and I had my kids. So obviously I can't be big. I can't, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter why you're big. It doesn't matter why you're big. You cannot be big in an airborne unit. So I got me a trainer. I wasn't about to be big out here. And I didn't have that like problem that I overeat when I was pregnant. Like I didn't overeat at all. I only gained like 10 to 15 pounds both pregnancies because I just don't eat like that. Just eat. I don't get the satisfaction that some people do from that. But I got a trainer because that's what I needed to make sure that I was fit for my job. So I wouldn't get chaptered out and pushed out of the Army. So I just feel like if I could do that for my job, I could do that for my husband. I lose a lot more if I lose my husband. I could do that for my wife if I had one. I would lose a lot more losing my wife because now my family is split and my kids, most of the time we have kids, my kids are split too. That's a problem. That is a problem. Good morning, you guys. I haven't even said good morning to Josh and Esso. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you. Gregory, he said, I love Fupa. See, I don't know one woman. Actually, I know a few women that will say, oh, I love a dad bod, but that bitch is out of shape. Or she has a complex and she wants her man to not look good as her. Either way, I'm like, ain't nothing sexy about his belly just hanging over his dick. What are you talking about? That's a lot. Don't lie to this man. You lying, you messing it up for all of us. Don't be lying. We don't like that. You don't have to be Magic Mike. You don't have to be football player. But you gotta be lean at least. Like, I'm not asking you to be the Rock or be the Hulk, but I expect you to not be big. No big backs, men and women. Yeah, they don't care about the churn. You're right, Lucky. They don't care about the churn at all, and that's the problem. They don't think about the children when they're shoveling the food. They don't think about the children when they're not having sex. They don't think about the children when they're always snap, 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 snip, snip, snipping at each other. They don't think about the children and how this is going to affect them in the long run when y'all eventually break up from all these little things that add up, and then it's the final needle on the haystack, you know? I don't know. It's the final straw that broke the camel's back. It's it. It's like you've been piling this stuff on this relationship the whole time, and now it can't sustain. It can't hold this weight. So you have now damaged your relationship beyond repair by piling things on. And now, and it's not just you. A lot of times it's toxic as fuck. It's both of y'all. No one's being the bigger person. No one's being the better person. Everyone is being petty. Everyone is being petty. So you messing up your relationship and you ain't thinking about your children at all. Don't be lying. See, do not be like Lucky, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this beautiful, beautiful woman. There is no reason she should be lying to these men telling them that she likes dad bods. She's a liar. She is lying. Do not listen to Lucky. Boo. Boo. Do not listen to Lucky. We do not like that. That is not true. We tolerate it. We tolerate it temporarily. But get it together. Get it together. Yeah, boo. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this with you at all. No, don't be lying. Look, we got to move on. We got to move on to the next one. Listen, my husband is sick, you guys. I know. It's so sad. He is sick. And he's losing his voice. And I'm going to take him to the doctor and make sure he stay happy and healthy and fucking, you know. So we got to hurry up. Okay, we already did if your partner's not fulfilling your needs. Is that a good reason to cheat? And wait, I didn't really answer that. It's not a good reason to cheat. You have to put on your big person drawers and make sure that you tell them the truth so they can make a choice of whether they want to be with you or not. But tell them that you're on the way out of here. You feeling like you want to cheat on them. Tell them the truth. They're going to find out when they find out you cheating. Y'all are not that good. Y'all are sloppy as hell. Y'all always get caught. And you don't even have to be sloppy. You don't have to be sloppy at all. Something's going to happen where they're going to find out. So you might as well tell them, hey, I'm feeling like I'm going to cheat. So we need to fix this relationship. Put your big boy pants on. Put your big girl pants on and make sure you tell them the truth. Let them choose. Hey, do I want to work on this relationship with my spouse and stay married? Happily married? In a family? Or do I want to just leave because I'm not willing to work on this? It changes the dynamic completely. And it makes her not feel disrespected, and him either. You can't disrespect your partner like that. They deserve better. But yeah, I want to show you guys the next one. I like this pastor. I know they were like, oh, he's zesty. But the part where he goes, you mad? That shit had me dying. I was like, you mad? Because you know who I thought about? I thought about Cameron. You know how Cameron be like, you mad? And he's always like smug and, you know, has that little like, he picking at you. That's what it made me think of. So watch this real quick, y'all. And this is way shorter. It's like half the time. So don't even trip. Don't even trip. Watch.
They never took the time to be single. So they're trying to figure out how to be married and be single, and it never will work. See, because when you get into marriage, then there's conditions that you have to do as the husband, that you have to do as the wife, but you do your own thing. You got your own car. You INDEND. Okay, you're independent. I understand. Yeah, I understand that you got all that, but you were supposed to be all that before you became one. So you're mad now because you just can't spend your money any way you want to. But that's not your money anymore. It's y'all's money. For this reason, should a man leave his wife and the two become, you mad? Because you didn't take time and figure out you single. And when you don't know you won't pick right because you'll pick what you think you want. And you have no basis on it because you have not had the time to figure you out. Now, some people are in this room like, Pastor Mike, it's too late for me.
What's your thoughts? Anybody can go first before I go.
I feel like he makes a lot of sense in what he's saying. It reminds me of I forgot which podcast I was watching, and I think it was a pastor, somebody who cheated on his wife, and he was saying that he never had that discipline of one woman, but he went into this marriage thinking that
I
he
know what you're
could,
talking about.
right?
Mhm.
So I feel like it's the same way for a single person. Like, so even though you're a single person, you have to start training your mind and understanding what it takes to be in a relationship and what are some of those expectations.
I agree with her. That's why I showed just her part of the response because I definitely agree with her. You don't get to know yourself, and then you get married and you're still trying to figure out who you are while also being a good spouse. And that's kind of hard to do. You're putting too much on that relationship at that point. You should take the time to get to know yourself all while you're single. And most of the time y'all single. So what are you doing if you're not working on yourself? I completely agree with her on that. But he was right also. Like, you didn't work on these things when you were single. You don't know yourself. You made the wrong choice because you just chose random. Okay, this guy wants to marry me. He asked me. He's attractive. Yes. That has nothing to do with personal with you at all. He could have asked multiple women to marry him by now while he asking you. But you're sitting here thinking, "Oh yeah, I just need to say yes cuz he's the first man that asked me." Or the second. You say no until it's the right one for you and you will know because y'all don't have to bicker at each other all the time. Like, that's just basic stuff that people just ignore because the packaging look good. He fine. He fine. So I'm going to ignore this glaring red flag because he fine. He's so handsome. And it's like, girl, first of all, he ain't that cute. He got a big old head. Second of all, there has to be more to this relationship than his looks. Because what if he gets in an accident? What if something happens to his pretty little face and it's not so pretty anymore? Are you still going to want to be with your husband? What if he goes overseas and he gets blown up and he looks like him, but he looks like him differently? You can tell that he's been damaged. You can see it all over his face. Are you still going to love your husband? Because he's not going to have that sex appeal that he had. Are you still going to love your husband? You have to make sure you choose right. So it's not he looked fine, his dick is good, cuz what if it stops working? I'm sure there's nothing more frustrating than having a man with a big ass good ass dick and then he can't get it up anymore. I'm sure there is nothing more frustrating than, oh, I chose the perfect one. It's the perfect peen and it doesn't work anymore. Well, you ain't even got to ride it for 2 decades, you know? I think that's fair to ask for. Just 2 decades of good riding. You ain't even got to do that. Are you still gonna love your husband? Are you still gonna stay with your husband? Make sure you choose right. Because if it's somebody that you don't really fuck with like that anyway, y'all fighting all the time anyway, you're gonna say no, bye. You know how Helen was beating on Charles' ass? Y'all gonna take the opportunity to do that. Instead of love on your husband, make sure he knows that he's still appreciated and loved. Make sure he feels that. You can do that easily when you actually love and appreciate your husband. Oh my God. It's shocking. It's shocking. I know. It's shocking. But when you actually have those feelings for your husband, it's not hard to do. Thankfully, I wouldn't know my man look good. As y'all see, my man look good. So thankfully, thank God, he looks how he looked. He looks better than he looked when we were dating in the beginning. He looks so good. And he started growing his hair out now. It's all curly and cute. Like, it's just he looks so good. Anyway, I got off completely. I wanted to bring up some more singleness issues though that people experience in marriage because we don't really talk about this subject too much. And I think a singleness issue that causes a lot of arguments is the need to flirt heavily with everyone you see. Like if you're a naturally flirtatious person, you have to check that when you are in a relationship. You can't just be flirty and then they're returning that energy back to you. Meanwhile, you got a man. Some men aren't going to take no for an answer when you've been flirty with them, accepting the drinks, accepting the gifts, accepting all these things. Like, I'm not going to turn down a gift. What? All right. You flirted your way into this gift and now you flirted your way into a problem. Because this, from the outside looking in, looks like a relationship. It looks like, at the very least, emotional cheating, which I think is stupid. I think that is a myth. Because we emotionally cheat with our girlfriends every day. We confide in them. We feel close to them because of only emotional attachment. We ain't having sex. So how come I can emotionally cheat with her, but not with this guy? We talking about different things. But whatever. I just think that's another singleness issue that shows up. We flirt a little bit too much. And I am a naturally flirtatious woman. I've always been flirty. And actually, it might have been a little bit nurtured, but we're not going to get into that today. But I've always been a flirty woman, right? So I started I've always been like if I think somebody's being nice, I'm a little flirty with them. It's just how I am. And especially if it's a girl and she fine. I'm flirting. I'm flirting with you. But I had to realize as I got remarried because my first marriage, I didn't care. I'm accepting. This is why I'm telling y'all the stuff that I'm telling y'all because this is the second marriage. I made the mistakes already and I'm not making them in this marriage. So I used to flirt. Like if somebody's like, "Oh, you look good," I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate that." Like, and I'm not, I got a man. I'm not doing that. Like, obviously, if you ask me, I can tell you that I have a man, but I'm not just, "Ah, I got a man." Like, if you ask me to do something like, "Oh, you want to go somewhere? You want to go out?" Like, "Oh, no, I have a man." Like, I can easily do that, but I'm still going to flirt. I'm still going to flirt. But I didn't want to cause issues for my husband because sometimes men don't take no for an answer. And then they feel like they got to size your man up. So you put him in a situation that he shouldn't even be in, honestly. But you putting him in this situation because you feel the need to flex. You feel the need to flirt with anybody that looks good. And what if he's a violent man and your man isn't? And that's what you love about him. But that's about to get him fucked up. You would feel very, very guilty. You'd feel very, very bad. I think. I know I would. I would feel so guilty if I was flirting with some guy and he started being too aggressive. So I had to call on my man and then he got hurt in any way. Even a scratch on him, I'm like, oh, he got this scratch because of me. I would never be okay with that. So I just avoid the mess. I obviously I'm still a little flirty, you guys. Like it's not gonna go completely away, but I'm not like, like, hi, da, 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 da. I'm just like, hey, yeah, I have a man, but like I'm not ever gonna be, get out of my face. I don't like you. I have a man. Go away. That's never gonna be me. And you know what? I've avoided a lot of like I've been a lot of sketchy places and I'm just like la 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 because I'm just exploring, right? And thankfully, because I have been very pleasant and very respectful everywhere I've gone, I've not had anything happen. I'm just saying, I know fantasy land, fantasy island girl, but I can be in these situations where like sometimes people don't make it out of and nothing happens to me because I'm just very, I don't know. I don't know. It just works out, thankfully. But yeah, I don't put my man in situations like that because I don't want anything to happen to him. What if someone put a gun on my husband? Ugh. They shooting at schools, it could happen. They shooting at church, it can happen. We're gonna do the last one. Oh, Lucky, you're right. I definitely should take calls. I don't know because people don't know how to act. This is why I don't take calls. Get the strap. See, get the strap. And the thing is, SO, I'm gonna get my own strap. I'm not gonna let nobody just shoot my husband. I obviously went insane and I grabbed my gun and I shot them. You ain't finna just shoot my husband. But I don't want that. I don't want that situation. Like, I would rather not have to shoot somebody. I've never had to shoot anyone. I just have a weapon just in case shit get crazy. And I have the training because I've been in the military. So yeah, I at least know how to keep it clean. I at least know how to point it at the right area. And if you lucky or you unlucky, you gonna get hit today. So yeah, get the strap is right, but I don't want to get the strap. Look at me. I could break a nail. We're gonna go to this last clip, and this is the shortest clip, you guys. So don't even trip. Don't trip. It's the shortest clip, and then I'm gonna come right back and we'll talk about it.
Days a week, and if I was really feeling needy, I mean, I could see 4 or 5 guys.
That shit
That
wild, ain't it?
nigga
He
gay.
gay. I'm sorry.
No.
No.
What the fuck is this?
What
There's
the fuck
nothing wrong
is
with
that?
that. Don't say that you're straight when you're not.
No,
That's not.
I-
So I understand where they're going with this, but I firmly believe the only reason why I am comfortable being out and bisexual is because women that are bisexual are widely accepted in society. Whether we're thought to be overly promiscuous because we're attracted to both genders, or we're thought to be um, just going through a phase when we have sex or relations with a woman, where it's just she's going through a phase. So we get to have that phase if it is. And men do not. So I firmly believe us continuously saying there's no such thing as a bisexual man is a problem. It's a very big problem. And I think it's a problem because they have to either A, subscribe to being a straight person and never get to explore that side of them that is attracted to men. So then they're always like, it's always this forbidden fruit that it shouldn't have to be. They should at least be able to explore and understand what they do and do not like. But we don't allow them that space to explore without you suck one dick, you're gay. What if you put it in and you didn't like it? You're stuck being gay? That literally makes no sense. You have to let people know if some people are curious. Some people are not. Some people are fine with the norm, the status quo, and they don't want to go outside of that. And that's fine. But some people would like to see what's on the other side before they decide that they're straight. I think that's pretty logical thinking. No one's going to die from you experiencing, as long as it's protected, it's safe. I'm not trying to be like that. But you should be able to explore that and see if you like it, if you're curious about it. You shouldn't have this forbidden fruit of, oh, yeah, I don't want to be rejected by women, because there's a lot of women that say they would never be with a man that was bisexual, even bisexual women. Even women that went through a questioning stage where they were dealing with women and they no longer do, they still believe that you can't experience that as a man. That's ridiculous. We letting these transgenders run around and say they are literally the opposite sex. But we don't believe in bisexual men. It just doesn't make any sense. I think it's the baseline of society that people were bisexual and it was common. How come when people end up in all girls schools or all boys schools, a lot of them experience homosexual relations? How come? Is it because people are naturally tuned to seek pleasure, and as long as they find somebody physically attractive, and shocker, you can see somebody's physical attraction and not want to have sex with them. But if you're in a situation where there's literally no men, just like in jail, we'll take you to jail. If you're in a situation where there's literally no men, you're not going to see men for years, and you got that itch that just cannot be scratched, you're going to let somebody scratch that itch. And it's not just women, it's men too. We heard about you. We heard about you getting that itch scratched in there. Oh, it ain't gay if you doing the bending. It is not straight behavior. Not one straight man has done that to a man and been straight. You're at least questioning. You're at least bisexual. Be honest with yourselves. All of you need to be honest with yourselves. And I'm not saying everyone is bisexual. Everyone is gay just because I'm bisexual. No, I don't believe that. I believe there are some people that are firmly fine with being straight. I just also believe there are more people like me than people like you that, if given the chance, would try it if the person was attractive to them. Because it's not like, oh, I'm bisexual, so every woman and every man turns me on. I already told y'all how I feel about the fatties. So it's not that. If you are physically attractive and we have that sexual chemistry and I'm single, you're single, I should be able to explore that without that being something that I have to wear for the rest of my life. I just think that's extreme. I'll never eat an Italian sausage after seeing that. Listen, Joe. Listen. I get it. I get it. I think that this situation that they talked about in the beginning of the clip, um, where he was seeing multiple men while he was married. I think that's very wrong. And I think that society putting that pressure on them is what makes them feel like they have to be a man. And that means that they have to have a wife and kids when you may not want that. You may, in fact, want to be with a man. Even if you're bisexual as a man, you can choose to be in a relationship with a man, and it might be a long term one, and you're still not gay. Just like I'm not suddenly straight because my husband is a man. I'm still bisexual. I'm just in a relationship with a man. So you're still bisexual. You're just in a relationship with a woman. And a lot of times you need to go with what your body is saying and what your mind is saying. You actually prefer. Because a lot of times you're not bisexual. So it could be a woman or a man. Like a lot of times bisexuals, they prefer one or the other more often than not. So you need to know that about yourself, and you're not going to know that about yourself if you can't explore. But if you explore and you realize, oh, I prefer men over women, you wouldn't marry a woman, I believe. I don't believe that you would go through that process knowing that it will hurt you and your wife and your future kids for you to go down this straight road that you're not on. You didn't tell her that you were bisexual or questioning or anything. Anything. My husband knew. My husband knew I was bisexual before he wanted to marry me. Before we were really in a long-term relationship, he knew that I was bisexual. So you can't keep these secrets from your partner and think it's going to be sweet. Shit ain't sweet. What is good, Mr. General? Good morning. Thank you for stopping by. Is this Granville? Wait, what did I walk into? Listen, I'm just being honest. I think society pressures these men to create these standards in their relationship. And I was talking about the clip. You know, you were there on Sunday because I saw you, Sherelle, Sherelle, Sherelle. I love that. I think it's super cute. Oh, it's Cheeky. Cheeky Banner. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming by. Well, I don't know if you come to the Sunday shows, but Lucky has a Sunday show. And on there, Cheeky, I know you weren't doing that. That's what Granville does. I thought you were Granville. I don't know. Y'all have the same GBG. I don't know. Anyway, if you're not watching the Sunday shows, Lucky has this show that she has a panel of beautiful ladies, and we are opinionated, and then we have a man, a man. And it could be you. I'm just saying it could be you one day, but we invite a man to have the conversation with us, and then somebody can also pay to come sit up there with us, but you can't chill with us just because, unless you're invited. We're having the conversation, and I just love it so freaking much. But on there, we had this clip. It was like a longer clip where he was explaining how he had been married and he was sleeping with multiple men on the side, but he's not gay, he's not bisexual because he only has sexual attraction to them. The dumbest thing, like, that just makes no sense. That literally makes no sense. So that's what that whole little portion was about, but I had already talked about that last week. So I just cut it to where we were talking about the society pressure men to create the standards in their marriage. And I just kind of got stuck there because I think it's a really big problem, honestly. I think a lot of times we have these men and they don't get to explore like us women to decide what they want. And then they get married, they're a family man, and they can't explore anymore. So it just causes problems. You guys. See, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? You understand. I'm not trying to push no agenda. Everybody's bi, everybody's gay. Like, that's stupid. I already know that's not true. So I'm just saying there are some people that are in the closet that you should let explore without this societal pressure of if you explore, you're going to be stuck on this side forever. never get access to vagina again. I think any man would be like, fuck no. Unless he was completely gay. Like, you have to be gay and not have any attraction to women to be told you can never have another woman again because you explored in high school. That literally makes no sense. That literally makes no sense. So, yeah, I just think we need to let people explore. We need to let people know, figure out what they do and don't like. And the only way we're going to do that is if we let people be who they really are. That's another singleness issue that they bring into marriage, but we ain't going to talk about that because it's taboo. Oh, they're down low. They're questioning. They're questioning for a reason. But yeah. Exactly. So that's the problem though. So I see what you guys are saying, and I agree that they should be honest. They have to disclose this history. But I would be a liar if I were to tell you that if it were reversed, the roles were reversed, and women weren't like completely accepted in society as being bisexual, I wouldn't have went out of my way to tell my husbands or my boyfriends that I had an experience with women if it was so taboo like it is for men. I wouldn't be jumping to tell them that because it's all about having um being accepted by the person that you're into. I'm not going to tell them something that's going to make them not look at me the same way, especially something that I experienced when I was younger and I no longer have a desire for that. I'm not going to tell them, especially as a man. Like thankfully, thankfully it is very accepted for women to be bisexual, so I don't have to hide it from my partners and my husbands already knew before because like it's very common for women to have lesbian or bisexual experiences in college when they go off, not even just in college, when they go off and leave the nest and they explore the world. It's very common for women to go through a stage like that, and society just accepts it. Nothing happens to us, thankfully. So I'm like, yeah, things went down and I can be honest and open, but it's not really fair to put that on men when I know that it is not the same at all. Like, ooh, you guys, I swear to God, we'll talk about this for 2 seconds. Like, I'm just gonna tell you the story and a little bit about what I think, and then we're not gonna talk about this, okay? Okay. So there was this guy that was bisexual, and he was like, I decided to be honest and I came out and she left me. And she started telling everybody I was gay. And now women won't have sex with me because they think that I'm gay. So now I have to only be with men when honestly I prefer women. And I was like, "Oh, if I prefer men. Like I'm bisexual, but I prefer to be in relationships with men, right? If I lost all access to men because like I guess maybe he could move, but that's not the point. He suddenly he was an attractive man. He was fit, he had a handsome face. Um he was an attractive man. If he suddenly had to give up all vagina for the truth, he gonna lie. People have lied for less. People have lied for less. If I were gonna lose all access to dick for the rest of my life because I had an experience, I'm never gonna experience it, and if I do, no one's ever gonna find out. No one. So I feel for the men. I'll say that. And it's not something that I could be like, "Oh, and women too," because I from experience know we have a completely different experience and it ain't no all lives matter shit over here. Men literally have a problem with this. I think it's causing a lot of like the violence that they experience with each other because they can't explore it without a man feeling completely disrespected that a man hit on him, flirted with him a little bit. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill this man. So it's a lot. It's very different. We get to be, you guys, when we go to the strip club, I know this is TMI, but when we go to the strip club as women, especially bisexual women, we get to touch all over the strip. We get to touch everywhere we want. Think about this. We get to touch everywhere we want. We get to touch everywhere we want. That's fucking amazing. Y'all don't get that? Y'all don't get to touch anything. Y'all have to look. I'm sorry. But y'all have to look and not get touched at all. Like she touches on you, but you don't get to touch. We get to touch, you guys. We get to touch. You guys, we get to do whatever we want, honestly. And you guys don't get that. And that's common, that's known. So we can talk about that. That's way easier for y'all to digest. Y'all see us women in there getting felt up and feeling up. Y'all see it. Just saying. It is double standards. Yeah. And you know what, Jay Strata? I feel like some double standards are acceptable. They make sense, right? But I think when it comes to sexuality, that double standard is problematic. And we've been seeing, just like this man, he's not the only one. Like there's been story after story. Y'all love statistics, statistic after statistic of these straight men cheating on their wives with men. And instead of y'all trying to look into that, y'all are like, oh, well, he's gay. He was down low. He really only likes men and he's gay. Like, y'all ain't doing the work either. And y'all ain't, I don't understand how y'all support gay over bisexual anyway. Is it because y'all have to compete with them more? You don't want the competition, so you tell women, oh, yeah, he's gay. Is that what it is? I'm just wondering because it's a little weird to me. I think you guys are part of the problem telling men that everything is gay. Even the pause, no homo. Y'all pause things when y'all are talking to women. Nothing that I do with you, sir, is homosexual. Everything we do is heterosexual. Everything we do is straight. So us having this conversation and you saying something sexual isn't a pause moment. Y'all are just conditioning yourselves to like push the gay away, push the bi away. Like, chill out. Y'all should. I hate when men say pause to me. Grow up. Grow up. I honestly feel like you got to grow up. It's ridiculous. Pause, pause, pause. And then it's like everything is a pause. Everything is a pause. Everything you do is straight to us, not the other way around. Wait a minute. So, okay, Cheeky, since you want to say that, do you agree with that stupid ass list where it says that if you carry an umbrella as a man, you gay? I'm just saying. The standards for calling somebody gay has gone from having sexual relations with a man to shit that literally makes no sense. And you can agree that we going a little bit too far with this pause situation, with this no homo situation. Like, okay, since I now know it's just a game for you men, I'll let it go. I'll let it go. I just thought y'all were really that afraid of being seen as gay. When we can tell when a man is a little zesty. You saying pause wouldn't stop that. So you don't have to do that for us. So it's just a game for y'all. That makes sense. Y'all can play. But you know what? Y'all games are suspicious. Y'all be playing gay chicken. That's suspicious. That's weird in my Cardi B voice. Like that is something crazy. I I don't know. I didn't know it was a game, you guys. I really didn't. He said that's the white boys. You lying. You lying. And I'm not going to let you do that because there are. Oh, now this is true, you guys. I cannot lie. I cannot lie. I can't. This part is true. That's actually all right. I'm going to be completely 100, you guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to just do. Ooh, ooh, thank you. This is all I'm saying, Jason. This is all I'm saying. These locker room games, they're suspicious to me. And they're suspicious to Jason, too. I'm just saying. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I learned the term gay chicken from 2 soldiers that were white boys in the army, males in the army. And they both had actually, one of them, he didn't usually have a girl. No, think about it. But the other one was married to a woman. And they would play gay chicken all the time. And I was like, it's so weird that y'all always touching on each other, playing with each other, trying to touch each other's dicks. Like, that ain't cute. That is weird. Like, and it makes everyone around you uncomfortable. Everyone. But I also have seen these documentaries about these guys that come out of the closet and they explain how they were in the locker room. And they were not white men. They were black men. So it's not a white boy thing. It's a questioning thing. I think if you see somebody playing gay chicken, you need to know that they're questioning something. They want to touch that peen. They want to see what it feels like. I'm just saying. Look, it's gay chicken. I'm so confused. So listen, I will inform you because I was informed. So I think it's important for us to spread the message so everybody is informed, everyone knows. Okay. So gay chicken is when you are doing as many gay things as you could possibly do and the person that like quits first, they lose. Just like when you're playing chicken in the car and you're racing, and the person that moves first, they lose. It's the same thing. That is suspicious. It's very suspicious. What we not finna do, sir, especially over here, sir, is try to diminish their blackness because they speak a certain way and they were raised a certain way. They still black. They just have cultural differences. Don't be like that. It is black men and white men that have experienced this situation that I've heard of. And honestly, it's probably other races too, but I've only heard it from black men and white men. So I'm going to mention that both of them have said these things, both of them. So y'all ain't finna throw this on the white men. This is y'all too. Y'all are hilarious. He said, I'd rather have been ignorant. Well, you know what? Now you know. Now you know. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, man. It's huge in Japan? Yo. Oh, you guys. I don't even want to tell you. It's so gross. I'm not going to tell you. But just imagine. I'm just going to tell you a little. So just imagine these thug ass men, these thug ass niggas. If you walked past them, you'd be really afraid, right? Imagine them not even being able to contain themselves before they got home and they doing it in a public place at the bus station, the train station. Like it was normal. They got caught on the camera. And they were black men. They were thugs. They were gangsters. And they were doing that, you guys. Just saying. Drop the stream. Josh, I don't know. Josh. You honestly have not seen that at all. You've never heard anyone tell you about that at all. I don't know. Jason, you're hilarious. Downtown DC. Look, my sister live in DC. I love it over there, but I feel you. You're like, wait a minute. What are you really? Oh, okay. Okay. No judgment. Okay. You guys, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. But this is a morning show and it's almost 11:30. It's time for me to get dressed. I'm already showered. I smell all good. Get dressed and I'm all cute. Get dressed and go take care of my man's. He need to go to the doctor. I have to make sure he's okay. So thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. You're hilarious, Jason. Come back. The next show. The next show is Thursday at 10 a.m. I'm going to do a premiere because I have to go to the doctor on Thursday morning and it's more important than this, to be honest. So I appreciate y'all and come back to see me later in the week. I appreciate you. Bye.
So easy.